Yo, what's up guys? Coach Brizzy here. Today we'll be doing a VOD review of Cooper and Aiden, our DreamHack winners of this month. Man guys, this is two underrated players. Some of you may have heard of them, may have not, but if you haven't, they are a really good duo to watch. And today we'll be going over some strategies that they used, things they did good off spawn, some 50-50s they took that led them into winning this because of the loot that they had in end games. But yeah, overall they did really good during this tournament. I feel like they work very well together. Aiden is a mastermind IGL. I really think that he is going to be really big in the future, along with Cooper. Cooper's a great fragger as well. They both do very well together. But let's go ahead and get into this video, guys. Starting off with the first clip, we're going to be seeing a headshot snipe, an easy headshot snipe actually. They do take their time on this. Free headshot snipe right off the bat against Wrigley and Dictate. Yeah, it really works out for them. They get an easy kill. But we're gonna see what we're gonna see here right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. Let's go ahead and watch this real quick. Or look at this map real quick. This is gonna be a recurring factor. I believe this is Wiz up here on the mountain. Right here up on the mountain. Yes, this is a recurring factor, guys. Wiz tends to loot up this little spot that he does right here at the Quinn cabin. Then it comes up to Caddy to see if he could get any tags or like free snipes up here. And this is a reoccurring factor that he does like each game. So each game he's gonna be at this hill watching over Caddy and Weather Station. So we're gonna be seeing an altercation here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and speed it up to 4 times because they do get the kill. Wiz comes. They're trying to chase the kill. He goes back up. This is when the altercation happens. Wiz is here. Nate, his teammate, is coming to back him up. They get the kill on Caleb here, which is really free. I'm guessing Caleb came back for a card for his teammate that died at Caddy. Unfortunately, he does die. You do get the kill. And then third party arrives. They are going to fight this. Let's go ahead and watch this out. What I want to talk about here is that they're both in the same box. And in a moment here, Cooper does a great job at realizing. So right here, Cooper does a really great job at realizing where these two players are. He realizes that they're both in front of him, which makes the retake going out back a lot like very free. So you're gonna see that he sees both of these players like in front. He goes for a retake out and back, easily gets height. So now he has height, does a couple damage. Unfortunately, he does go down here in a moment, making a bad edit. But Aiden is able to clean both of these kills up because one was already white and one was half health. So it's a really easy cleanup. But that was a very good play by Cooper for doing that play. It opened up the opportunity for them to get mixed up in the fight. And he did get off quite a bit of damage as well. So really good play by Cooper. An easy claim for height. Yes, this game is right by retail. On the mountain, of course. Alright, so we have them right now. Yeah, they're currently right here. So they set up a bouncer impulse, which this is a really good play to do a bouncer impulse because they get right under the noses of all these teams that are right at the hill, that are all stationary. So now they're in a very great position to look back at any teams that are below them or any teams that are to the east of them as well. So they're in a really great position. They don't really have to do anything at all. Really great play with the bouncer impulse. you want to be on a hill that's stationary so you don't get looked at by any of the teams, because it only makes it harder for you to get up hills when everybody else is stationary just looking for tags. And that's what happens with most teams, is that they get triple sprayed, double sprayed, you know the deal. I really want to talk about the 6 zone. They just edge in here for zone. If you're not, nobody's missing anything, they're just edging here for zone, which is a really great job. They don't want to like give up this because it could go back, it could pull back. It's better to be safer with like pre-measures, like building out and extending from the hill and being on edge, just in case if it does pull back. Instead of being at low ground and it pulls back, then you have to use more mats to get back up the hill, you know. So it's a good preemptive tactic and strategy to use. Okay, so I have a lot of people asking me from time to time about 6 zone and like which side is going to be the best side for me if we're on a hill, or if there's like hills in play, or anything like that. So this is a great example. So we have a zone that's very far north. We have a east side hill, and then we also have a west side hill. The west side hill is a lot closer than the east side hill, and the east side hill has a big drop off down. The best play here is to be on this western hill, because you can use all these other old builds to not use as many mats. You don't have to build floors or anything like that. You could just rotate straight through. Another fact is that this right here, once you get to this crane right here, you're gonna be already on this level of the crane, so you could just inch in like they did before in the 5th zone. In the 5th zone, they edged in right here with a little bit of builds. Instead of dropping to low ground, they edged in and then pulled back to them, which is very perfect. So now it's the same thing, same scenario. You want to play an edge, you want to play the very edge of a zone, either of course the west side, because the west side is closer. The way to tell whether like which side is dead side is the path that takes longer to get to zone is going to be the dead side. There's going to be less players on that side because it takes so much time to get to zone from this side. But if you take the faster route, there's going to be a lot more people because they want to use less mats, less rotation to get the zone quicker. So as we're going to see here, Cooper and Aiden do a really great job at staying on this side using old builds. They're going to tarp the rest of the way to this crane. We could go ahead and speed it up a little bit. They're going to tarp the rest of the way to this crane, and they're on a really good layer right now. A very great layer. They're not getting looked at by any other teams. They're on a perfect layer. So now we're at the crane. They're edged into zone. They're about to be edged into zone. Don't have to use that much. They didn't use that many mats. And then as you can see here, we have lots of teams below, like on this lower ground, and it's pulling off the hill. So now since that Aiden and Cooper have used this, and lots of teams are in this congestion, they don't have to use as many builds. They can just literally run over top of this, build tops, and then make it like get a really good layer ahead of zone. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and keep watching this. I do believe they split up. Let's go ahead and go in gameplay for Aiden's POV. Like I said, staying ahead. Aiden does a really great job of that. Cooper, I believe, is by himself right now. Aiden has to drop. I'm pretty sure Cooper dropped all the way down here on accident, but Cooper does have a really good layer. Aiden gets a very nasty snipe right here. It was insane. But let's go ahead and go to Cooper's POV because I do believe he gets a couple kills here soon. But they're on a really great layer right now, and they do a great job of working together as a team collectively and looking for picks. They always play together. Right here, they get 2 picks. And they use a bouncer right here. I'm gonna pause it right here as well. The bad thing about using bouncers off of moving zones that go downhill is because bouncers are the play if there's mid-ground. So if there was mid-ground layering off this hill, so say if there's lots of layers on this, on lots of builds on this layer, like tarps and stuff, on this layer right here that they're on right now, it would be valid to use a bouncer because you're protected from all those builds. And if there is people above you, if there are people above you, if there are people above you, you're able to grab yourself a lot better. You're able to manage your builds and catch yourself easily while conserving your mats. As you can see here, or also another bad reason for using a bouncer here is because this is all open. This is an open area. You're not as covered. Everybody above you is going to be looking down at you, and it's going to be super free. There's nothing really that you can connect to. And as you can see here, they fly across. Aiden dies. These two people are looking at him. And Cooper uses a lot of mats. I believe he used about like 9 builds, all 9 to 11 builds here. And they don't have that much mats to begin with because they didn't get really any of the siphon mats. But yeah, when you're using bouncers off hill, make sure that there's builds that you can connect to so you can manage your builds a lot more. And also make sure you're looking at your surroundings as well. You can use the siphon mats that you got from those teams, build in a little bit, assess the situation, see what's around you, and then bouncer. But I don't even think bouncering was the play. Aiden still had the peppers. They could have just peppered straight down. They didn't even have to use that many mats. They could have peppered straight down to a decent layer like Cooper's on right now, and played it out a little bit more. But that's totally fine. This game was totally fine. They played it really well for their first game. And what he does is a really great job of caddying the team on height off. Caddied one off. Let's go ahead and go drone free. He did caddy Blurzo off. Or Blurzo off. So he gets laser for it. But overall, second game, game 2. This is game 2. Second game was really good. They played it really well. The bouncer play wasn't worth it. They could have assessed the situation after they got the mats and made a better play to get on a better layer with the peppers that they had. We talked about the 6th zone being the best sided zones are the ones that are closest to, or the fastest way to get to zone. When you have a hill in play, and the hill is closest to the zone, you want to be closer to that hill. That's what's going to get you to zone quick without using a lot of mats or rotation, and you're going to blend in with all the congestion. So, and to identify dead side, we know that the side that takes longer to get to zone is going to be the dead side. It's going to have less amount of players. The side that is faster is going to be having more players because they don't want to use as much rotation and they don't want to use as much materials. So that's how to identify dead side. Yeah, so, and then they used we also talked about the bouncer impulse that they did, and we also talked about how Cooper does a really great job of assessing a situation and seeing those two people in front of him, and being able to do a high ground retake from the back, getting height, and then they clean up the fight easily. But yeah, let's go ahead and go into game 3. Alright, so we're in game 3. This is going to be, they actually chose to 50-50 and take the off-spawn fight, and it actually worked out for them. I honestly feel like the reason for landing Caddy was to, well, for one reason, landing Caddy was to capitalize their loot, which really worked out for them. Weather Station and Caddy loot is actually really good. It gets them really good loot, impulses, peppers, max peppers, all that. So I believe that this was a great play. Cooper actually takes out both of these players, which easy cleanup. I think that another reason why they went here is because they realized that in the second game that Dictate and Wrigley are very unaware players, I would say. They realized that they didn't really have great awareness. So I feel like that's another aspect that they put in for landing here. And another aspect that I think, or another reason why I think that they went here, is because they feel like Dictate's team their vibes are shot. Their vibes are shot. Now they're just gonna keep on landing here and alphaing this drop spot, because now that they get Caddy and Weather Station, it's going to be, their games are going to be a lot more smooth. They're going to have a lot more rotation to use. Max mats. They don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to worry about rotation. And also, they don't have to worry about Wiz coming in after they finish a fight, because landing Weather Station and then going to Caddy gives Wiz and his teammate a lot more time to get to Caddy and then get these picks on Aiden and Cooper. So I think that's another reason why. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to this mid game. Alright. What I want to talk about right here is utilizing the sand. This whole sand area in the map, or on the map, is here for a reason, guys. Use it. Whenever you're traveling over the sand, just go in the sand. There's no need for you to be using the crystals getting over sand when you have all these teams that are already stationary mid-zone in the sand, especially at Risky. Risky is a really great spot to be stationary at because the projector screen can't get broken down, so lots of people are going to go there and become stationary and be looking for tags. And we'll see that here. We'll see that's here. Furious and Bizzle tagging up Aiden and Cooper very easily. I believe they wanted to get the sniper here, which is totally fine. They can use heals to get it, but once they get in the sand, or if they were to get in the sand, they wouldn't have to use as many heals. And I feel like with the loot that they have, as you can see, he has 2 shockwaves. Aiden has a harpoon with 8 peppers for rotation. They don't even have to use the peppers for this rotate. They could just get in the sand. I believe they became impatient here. Became impatient here, and wanted to rotate and thought that they could rotate freely. So once they went for this big pot, I believe they thought that they could just rotate freely after this. So they boxed up again. Here, this is another time that they could get in the sand before any other teams come. I believe this team came and started pushing them after. Yeah, started getting shots off on them after. The crystals was a good play here, but another thing that they could have done right about here is not basing up in the water. At least it based up on the sand, like in this area, so you can rotate out freely without getting tagged. But yeah, let's go ahead and speed this up because they do wait here for a bit, and they do make a rotate soon. And guys, like I said, Bizzle and them, they're not going to be moving anywhere. Again, crystals, don't think it's worth it. You have all these teams that are rotating in the sand without getting shot, and then you have Cooper and Aiden that are getting torn up in a moment here. I just don't see the reason why that they're not getting in the sand. So one major topic about this game is use the sand, guys. Use the sand to do your rotations. There is no need to walk on the sand. No need at all. Just use your sand to rotate. So literally all you have to do. But we're gonna go ahead and see Aiden get pieced up a little bit more. I believe he does get tagged up oh no, he doesn't get tagged up a bit more after this, but yeah, guys, like, using sand is way better than using all the mats that they spent. They spent a lot of mats trying to get here. Aiden at 91 builds, not even cap mats anymore. But yeah, and they could just sit in the sand and not get hit for anything. That's all I gotta say about this one is, if you're in the sand, if you have a zone that's in the sand, please get to mid zone in the sand so you can become stationary and you don't have to like build it all later on. If you become stationary in mid zone, you could just look for tags, see what you can get on tags, and be above on storm surge, which is really the whole point of the sand area, is to become stationary and get tags and use minimal amount of builds as possible. That's the whole point of the sand. But let's go ahead and get into this end game here. Salco and Reindeer are... That's one thing about the sand, guys. Do not get in the sand with shambles loot. If you're going to be getting in the sand, make sure you have max mats and like heals and stuff like Aiden and Cooper did. Because once you get to end game, that's what you're going to have to use, the loot that you are getting in the sand with. So that's the loot that you're going to have to use in the end game, and it makes it much harder to win these games. But if you do have loot and you do have like rotation and stuff, get in the sand. Don't waste time making a base or anything like that. Get in the sand, find a place to base up, look for tags, get your tags, get back in the sand. Easy as that. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and see here that Salco and Reindeer needed some surge tags here. So they did need some surge tags. Aiden and Cooper cleaned it up really easily. Reindeer and Salco were like very flustered. They just played off of emotion. They really needed this surge. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for them. Cooper and Aiden clean it up real easy, and they get this refresh. Cooper's actually one shot here, so since Cooper's one shot, Aiden should be in the same box so Cooper doesn't get double sprayed. But yeah, that's no problem. They still have like lots of mats to use, lots of heals as well, so they're good. They're good off of this. But let's go ahead and get into this next zone. This is the next zone, guys. It's pulling far. Let's go ahead and go into drone free. It's pulling far. Looks like it's pulling far southwest. So it's pulling far southwest, guys. Again, sand is very free right now. It's very free to get in the sand and rotate all the way around this way. Not get seen by many teams. You can see that Slime and Naka got the same idea. But yeah, it's free rotates, guys. Free rotates into these builds. But again, I believe Cooper and Aiden use an impulse here, an impulse towards the zone. Don't see why they did that. I'm pretty sure that was their... Okay, they have plenty of impulses, but still, I feel like it was a waste of an impulse. But we're gonna go ahead and watch this rotate out. So they impulse to the zone right here. They impulse right about here. Not getting seen by many teams. It was a free rotate, but another free rotate without using that impulse would have been the sand. Oh, they actually used two impulses. And they got separated. That's okay though. So they used two. So guys, they used two impulses when they could have went in the sand and rotated all the way around here and been in the same position. The exact same position that they're in right now. They could have been there without using the impulses. So that's one good thing about the sand or utilizing the sand, is that you don't really have to use much. It's pulling far again. I believe they do a bouncer impulse here. Do they have bouncers? No, they don't have bouncers. So it's just going to be a regular impulse here, I believe. Let's go ahead and speed this up. So here we go with the impulse play. We're going to go ahead and go into gameplay. Oh, go ahead and go into gameplay. Watch this out. Alright, so here's the impulse play. They are currently separate, I believe. Cooper is about, yeah. Aiden gets to Cooper. Regrouping. And now they just play the layers. Now they're just playing their layers right now. I want to say this, guys. This is another reoccurring feature that I want to talk about as well. Cooper and Aiden do a really great job of identifying which side is going to be the most, like, the easiest side to get to. They cross over. You'll see this crossover of these like switching layers and crossing over in zones a lot. You're gonna see this a lot in the next 2 games that we're gonna review. But they do a really great job at finding like these layers that are just free. But yeah, they do a really great job of finding the layers that are free and staying on a really great side of zone. As you can see, they got that whole rotate free, and now they're just chilling. They're chilling in a really good spot right now. They're in zone. All they have to do is just look back for free kills, basically. I believe Cooper does get a kill here on one person in a moment. Yep, it was on Falconer. That was a free kill. Alright, so we have plenty of people. Plenty of people that are going to be on this side. Lots of congestion because the zone was pulling over here at first. Lots of congestion is going to be on this side. And then you have lots of people trying to get over to this side. Once this side closes, everybody's like, "Oh, the zone's going back. We gotta get to this side and rotate around to dead side." So now you're gonna have a lot of people rotating to this right side instead of the left because it's dead side and there's too much congestion. But Cooper and Aiden use an impulse straight to this side. They were together at first. All Aiden had to do was drop down, but they do find each other eventually. Cooper's doing a great job of staying ahead on this 7th zone, which is really good. He's waiting for his teammate right now so they can regroup. They do regroup here. I'm gonna go to Aiden's POV now because he does identify a really great situation right here. So the moment here, they tuck forward, and I'm gonna say this, guys. Aiden has a great eye to see opportunities. Here he sees that Krizix and Aviv just got done with a fight, so he knows that they're gonna try and like get those mats. He's gonna spray them off and stop them from getting the mats and stuff like that, or the loot. So as you can see here, gets a good amount of damage off. They cross over. He does a great deal amount of damage, enough to where Krizix has to heal. So he blocks off his side, and also he identifies that Krizix and his teammate were using wood, and Aiden has a harpoon. So he does a great job at using his utility. He saw the team using wood to get further in his zone. So perfect use for a harpoon play into box, allowing them to get a free refresh. So you're gonna see that here. Free harpoon into box, and they get the kill on Krizix. Jelsy's already low. I don't believe they get the kill on that, but they keep going. Before they were on the left side, they crossed only because they hit Krizix for a great amount of damage, and they realized that he was using wood. So it was going to be a free refresh either way because Aiden had a harpoon. Easy free refresh in the box. So they cross back to the left side. Aiden does a great job at keeping his teammate ahead and keeping them ahead of zones. Lots of piece control here, making sure that they are very much ahead and they can heal up and do all the things that they need to do. In a moment, we're gonna see here that again, Aiden does a great job at seeing the team. Unfortunately, Cooper does try and get the loot, and unfortunately falls into two people's box. So that's unfortunate, but Aiden does clutch it out a little bit, milks a little bit more placement. Actually gets a kill here, so it's going back. He knows that his side is going to be dead side now, since it's passive area, since it's congested by all the builds. So he's on a really great layer now. And I want to talk about the layer changing. So now he knows right here. He knows that two people are on his layer. He knows that a full duo is on this layer. He does a really great job of layer switching and realizing that this duo is looking for solos, looking for kills on low ground. So he does a really great job of layer switching, and I've spoken about it in my previous videos, talking about how as a solo you need to be on a different layer other than low ground the whole time, because duos are going to start dropping to low ground trying to look for refreshes. So he does a really great job of forgetting this and going up a layer, which is really, really good. Even though it doesn't last as long and it starts becoming a little bit more congested by other teams, he at least avoided that team for the little while that he had. And does milk out a couple more placement points, which is really good. So they had a really good game here. That was a really good game by both of them. Here we talked about how 50-50 off spawn worked out for them. The reason that they wanted to land at Caddy was to capitalize on loot. They knew that they could overpower Dictate's team, so that's exactly what they did. They got more loot. They had 4 impulses. We also talked about how the sand is a lot better when you rotate in it instead of rotating on it. It uses less mats. You don't have to get tagged by anyone. You can save all your rotation, all of that. And we also talked about how Aiden has a really great eye for opportunities. He can assess situations very well, and he knows when they need a refresh and when they don't. And he does a really great job of choosing layers that lead up to that refresh. There's some IGLs that are really good IGLs, but they don't know how to switch or play on layers that will have them run into those refreshes. So Aiden does a really great job of being that IGL that has them rotate into, or has the refreshes rotate into them, if that makes sense. And we also talked about utility of harpoons. When you see teams building in wood, it's going to be a free harpoon into box for a refresh. So that's one way you could get a refresh. But yeah, that was a really good game. That was game 3. So now we'll go into game 4. Alright, so this is game 4. Another 50-50 that they take. It does end up working out, but unfortunately Cooper does die off spawn. As you can see, that Cooper actually lands on this tack here. I don't know why he landed on top. He should have landed like somewhere closer. If he was aware of these people landing on the main building, he probably most likely would have chosen a different spot to go to, like this submachine gun on top. But yeah, this wasn't the play for him at all. But yeah, so we're gonna see Aiden play or clutch this out actually. Mind you, Aiden does only have attack, so he's gonna be looking for a play that he can get. We're gonna see him take his time. He really does take his time on this deal. He already knows 1 is very low, very, very low. So he's taking his time trying to get the piece control set up for him. Doesn't take the wall. They push out. Takes his time on the tack shot. Easy. And another cleanup. Now that they won this off spawn, Wrigley and Dictate are most definitely not going to land with them. If they do land with them, it's going to be another free 50 for Cooper and Aiden. But they're definitely not going to land with them anymore, because they know that they're getting like just getting slaughtered. They're getting slaughtered every time. So we remember that Wiz, the recurring factor, plays on this hill every single time. Wiz sees that Aiden's rebooting. Unfortunately, Wiz doesn't actually get the kill on this, but Wiz is a recurring factor. Again, this could have ended up really bad if Wiz just took the time to line up a better shot. But yeah, so this could have ended up bad. But after rebooting, guys, please always consider other teams being nearby and rotate away from the POI that you just rebooted at, especially if it's Caddy. If it's Caddy, you can get loot from other places like the lake by Misty. You can get loot from down here or throughout here. There's fishing spots throughout here that you could get throughout this river. There's max brick over here. There's a lot of places that you can get floor loot spawns, and especially since Aiden has a harpoon, it's definitely a time that they could have left. They had the opportunity to leave, they didn't take it, but with the fishing spots being buffed and stuff, and like now you get like purple and blue rarities out of the water, it can change a game. It could have changed this game for them if they just rotated out, but unfortunately they don't rotate out. They take this fight and they eventually die for it. We know that this game, after rebooting, consider other teams being nearby and rotate away from them POI as soon as possible. But yeah, that was game 4. Let's go ahead and get into game 5. Alright everyone, this is game 5. As you can see, they got Caddy unconned because Dictate and Wrigley decided to choose to land at a different spot. So they get Caddy and Weather Station unconned. I'm not gonna play the full like looting out spawn and stuff because I know you guys want to get into the action. But we're gonna speed this up. Dictate is looking for tags here. They don't want to take the fight on Cooper and Aiden because they know that they're gonna get rolled. Which is actually pretty funny, but yeah, so they don't take the fight on there. They do loot up all these spots. Cooper goes back up to Weather Station to loot a little bit more to get some more loot off of the top, I believe, or wait, I think he already did. Yeah, he already did that. Sorry. He already looted up top. Sorry about that. Basically, we're gonna be talking about the layer switching. And how they cross over zones. So as we talked about in the first game or the second game, so we realized that lots of teams are going to be on this side. So this waterfall is the closest hill to zone. So everybody that's like in this layer, on this layer that I'm at right now, is going to inch out or is going to use their builds to get out to here. Or get out to the edge of this zone. And you're gonna see Cooper and Aiden do a great job of utilizing their impulses to get into the mid part of zone, and then cross over after. So right now, Aiden and Cooper are next to each other. We're gonna see them cross over here in a moment. Cooper uses bouncer, crosses over. Aiden uses bouncer, crosses over, gets to Cooper. And now you're going to see them use their mats and cross over to this side. Because it's the closest side to zone. They need to use their mats to get to that close side to zone. And not do the drop down of the hill. Because once you drop down this hill and everybody's in the water, it's going to be hard to get back up the hill. And that's exactly what happens. The zone pulls straight back up the hill. Again, I will be speaking about why the zones pull to the most difficult terrains in a later video, but for now, just know that zones pull to the most difficult side of zones. I will have an explanation video out soon. Zone pulls back up the hill, so all these teams down here are gonna have a hard time getting up. Lots of teams are gonna die, and Aiden and Cooper gets a milk out placement while using old builds. So we're gonna see them use old builds. I'm gonna go gameplay real quick. I believe Cooper does get a kill here as well. So here comes the kill. Kills Vert, free kill. So now they keep on rotating. And they get actually another free kill here in a moment. They stay there on a very great layer here. So a free kill on Juki. And what I love is that Aiden and Cooper, I feel like they're having so much fun when they're playing in game. I feel like they're having fun when they play. Cooper realizes that there's a team that's rezzing in here, Wavy and Fabs. So they get a free kill on those, free refresh their cap mats basically now. And now all they have to do is just stay ahead. And everything else about this game is really just history. They come out with a 10 kill win here. But they did a really great job of staying on a really great layer. They still had lots of mats to spare. We're gonna go ahead and go drone free and see the layer that they're playing on. Speed it up a bit more because it does get a little bit boring right here. Alright, so now they know that height is like held up by one thing, and now it's a 1v2. They go out from different positions to take height, which is really good. Aiden takes height. Cooper tries to go for the kill, doesn't get it, unfortunately, but now they have height, and all they have to do is just drop down and clean up the rest of these people. But yeah, let's go ahead and speed this up. They drop down. Cooper gets a kill on Cease and Centric, I believe, and then Aiden gets a kill on Wrigley. One thing Aiden could have done is went into zone and saved the siphon for like a little bit later. He didn't really have to kill him there. Just in case if this person was doing a heal off, because there's a possibility that he was doing a heal off, and Aiden has no white heals. So that's one thing that you could have done, is wait on the kill to get the siphon. But yeah, let's go ahead and go gameplay for Cooper. Impulses up, Aiden is up there, and Aiden gets the kill. Really great game. Only thing that we really wanted to, or only thing I really wanted to talk about there is the same situation that happened in game 2 at retail. We talked about how when the zone is on, or when the zone is closest to a hill, you want to be close to that hill so you can be in the congestion, blend it in, use the mats that you have so you don't have to drop to low ground. And if it pulls back, which it did, it pulls back and you get to use those old builds that you have. I will be speaking about like why zones pull to the most difficult terrain in game. So I will have a video out on that in a couple days. But overall, Cooper and Aiden did a fantastic job. Glad to see them doing really great things. I definitely think they're going to be doing big things in the future. I will have their socials down in the description, so go check them out, go show them some love. All my socials will be in the description as well, so if you want to hit me up, my rates are really cheap actually. So $5, I vary from $5 and $10, so I have a $5 pack and a $10 pack. It's really beneficial for you guys. I've already got a couple people that done it already. But if you guys want more videos, go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you want to hit me up about coaching or getting coached, just hit me up on Discord. My link to my Discord will be in the description as well. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. I'll have more videos out for you soon. But yeah, see you next time.